I'm gonna take this empty room and transform it into my ultimate gaming room filled with the latest tech, highest end PCs, and so much more. But the biggest issue is this what the space looks like now. Yes, a big slab of concrete and sticks, which it leaves us with one question.
How are we gonna build all this out? To build the ultimate gaming setup, it comes down to a 5-step plan. 1, we gotta draw the basement. 2, we gotta build the basement out. 3, design our gaming room. 4, order all the gaming tech. And 5, we gotta piece it all together. But enough of the yapping, let's get started with step 1. Unfortunately, with the birth of my daughter, it has eliminated our theater room. But with that being said, we're
Crazy speakers.
we have to get 2 spaces out of this to give us 2 rooms. Room 1, we have theater. And room 2, the ultimate gaming room. And with us focusing all on the ultimate gaming room, we're gonna have to blow this up a little bit. Bathroom. Things are about to get sweaty. We need somewhere to rinse off, okay? We have gaming setup number 1. But as we all know, I have bad spending habits. Therefore, gaming setup number 2. But we don't stop there. Gaming setup number 3. You following me here? You following? Okay, this is gonna be our primary gaming setup. We're talking PC, we're talking RGB, we're talking high outlets, low outlets, in case we need to put TV up, I mean, all the electricity bills. Gaming setup number 2, we're talking console, maybe PC, because I just don't do console. Gaming setup number 3. Gaming setup number 3 right here. Let's be honest, we gotta have multiple PC setups in here.
Which leaves us about 500 square feet for our gaming room with a closet and a bathroom. But most importantly, a couple different walls to do multiple setups on. But now that we have our basement drawn up, let's get to the build.
Why'd you like to build everything out of wood?
You know, here in America, we always do things the cheapest way possible. So we didn't build the home out of brick, we actually built it out of wood. The foundation is definitely, no, Quinn, up here it's concrete, but no, it's wood. Quinn?
Like we said, with this space, we're targeting 3 different gaming setups. So with that in mind, we have to make sure we get plenty of outlets for all our tech and plenty of Ethernet plugins so that no matter where we put a setup, it's able to connect. So that's where we end up putting in 15 outlets and 6 Ethernet plugins in this room alone. But now that we got the electrical and the internet solved, it's time to move on to the sound. We went ahead and added in insulation between all our walls just to make sure we don't disturb the peace of the house because, well, you know, happy spouse, happy house. I mean, am I right, boys? But if you have never seen one of my previous videos, you know how loud I can be at times. We're still shooting!
No, mouse! Oh my!
So we went ahead and bumped it up a notch by adding this special sound dampening drywall so that no one can hear me scream when I start losing my ranked matches. But once that was all said and done, we just needed to throw on some paint, add in some carpet, and voila, we have ourselves a clean slate just in time for step 3, designing our setups.
All right, so I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is we finally finished the build out here of the gaming room. The bad news is we don't have a setup down here because we just finished building it. So I'm using a old cabinet system and my dining room chair to plan and execute stage 2, which is designing the gaming room. So I downloaded what's called Furnish Finder, a website that allows you to plug in the dimensions of your room to almost get the exact same layout. Then you can start plugging in furniture and other items and voila, you have your gaming setup.
First, I have fallen in love with these wood veneer panels that you see my boys like Sedlum, Will, and Jaden have. So we're gonna design my walls black in anticipation for that.
So we're gonna put 2 cabinet towers on each side of the main gaming setup with custom shelving that I picked up from my friend Nay Tasarek. So shout out Nay, I see you. And finishing off with a custom gaming setup on the wall right next to the main setup off to the side.
Nay?
Nay Tasarek, Nay, something like that. Now, of course, this app doesn't allow you to plug in RGB lights. So guys, what I would have to say is I got a lot of great ideas when it comes to that, but you're gonna have to wait and see. Now, between me and you guys, this may be the first time that I'm excited to build a gaming setup because, you know, I'm actually prepped and doing it correctly and going in with a plan. Normally I procrastinate and just throw everything together. But guys, we have about an hour drive to Ikea, so we gotta get these things packed and we gotta get moving quick. Let's go.
But for those of you that have never been to an Ikea, count yourself as lucky.
Do you mind pushing me around? My legs are sore.
Yeah.
Because while it may be the holy grail of getting furniture for your setups, it has got to be one of the most complicated places to actually figure out where you are in this place. All right, now that we finally made our way into Ikea and found the entrance, we're gonna need 4 things. We're gonna need some tall cabinet drawers. We need small Alex drawers for underneath our desk, Carlby butcher block, and shelving if we're gonna make the greatest setup ever. Let's go see if we can find them. Being able to come to a place like Ikea and have what it feels like an unlimited amount of selection is amazing.
think we found product number 1, lack. See, I told you I knew where I was going. Aisle 1, bin 21, that's where you find it.
So we haven't needed to walk around.
No, we didn't. No, we still gotta go.
This is actually where we ran into our first huge issue. You see, the tower shelving that we had originally designed for this space were supposed to have some opaque glass doors, and then we were going to install some RGB on the inside. But once we found the tower units, they did not have doors that actually fit them. And my space has a ceiling drop down that cuts into my setup that is preventing us from doing the full tall shelving unit.
And so now we don't have a front face to our cabinet tower to actually build the setup. So the question is, do we keep with the same theme, or do we just kind of redesign it and go with a different layout?
I don't know, but we should probably move away from the bathroom.
Why?
Okay. Amazon? Amazon.
So once we got back, we hopped on the PC, started the design work again, and found some alternative shelving that we think would work. So we rolled the dice and ended up ordering the rest of our items to now launch step 5. It's time to piece it all together.
And why is it that these drawers are the heaviest things in the setup? All right, boys, today's the day. We're finally getting our trim pieces. And, you know, we had to get some professionals in here, because if I were to be left alone in here with something sharp, things would not end really well. Yes, there's some yelling in the back. So kind of what we're thinking is we're gonna take this trim piece all the way across to this wall. The wood veneer hub has some sound dampening. And if we have any leftover pieces, we are gonna have a third setup up on this wall that we're gonna be cutting across. And my poor man over there, the reason why I brought him in here is we got a lot of outlets. We don't have the patience for that kind of stuff, so.
With the walls now complete, it's time to bring in all our IKEA items to piece together the foundation of the setup.
I set up all this here just to get a really cool shot and realize this is where I have to build and put everything. So now we gotta move everything out of the way.
Starting with the drawers.
There's got to be an easier way to open that.
Now, it seems like the Alex drawers from IKEA is what everyone goes to when it comes to a build, and I can see why, because for 90 bucks, you're getting a pretty decent quality and good looking drawer.
The only power drill that I could find, and you have to have it plugged into the wall. So I'm literally having to build those shelves over there, bring them over here. Someone down in the chat buy me a real power drill. Why is there this huge gap? This is not supposed to be here. This is where the small ones go. I have installed this upside down. We're leaving it and installing it like this. I never want to do this again.
But unlike everyone else's setups, we end up securing these lax shelving tower units from IKEA to bring a little spice to the table when it comes to our decorations.
You didn't read past step 1? Mother trucker, we gotta unscrew it.
But within the same lack line, they also have a full-on shelf that we're going to be putting right in between the 2 tower units.
Don't die me. Don't die me. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Come on. Nice. Oh yeah.
Now we got to screw again.
And to wrap it all together, we got the Carlby Butcher block from IKEA, measuring in at 96 inches.
Perfect.
I think the desk is long. Can you hold that side, please?
Yeah, here. Let me see that.
Worst tape measure.
Why am I shaking?
This can't be right. 4'3"?
I don't know where the measuring went wrong here, but the 96 inch definitely wasn't gonna fit in the setup, so we had to cut it down to 82.5 because that is the precise measurement.
Which helped us move into the next part of the build, the inferior, console gaming and TV setup. Wow, these allergies.
Oh my god. Oh no.
With this, I did pick up a white TV stand, and if you dare say IKEA, you would be wrong, because we actually ordered this bad boy from Home Depot. Now, I wish I could compliment the quality on this TV stand like the IKEA stuff.
Wow, look at that countertop, dude. Like, it's not every day you see marble and quartz like that.
But let's just say the structural integrity was questionable at best.
So now that we got most of the setup side of things complete, we're gonna be moving over to the console gaming area where we have ourselves a nice 65-inch Bravia 8 Sony TV that we're gonna be installing. So let's go.
But what is a console setup without a TV?
Quinn, can you hold that for me? He dodged it. That was actually kind of impressive.
I knew you were gonna throw it at me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we did come up with a solution. We went down to the barn. We found these washers that we're gonna be putting onto these drywall screws, putting them into the wall. Not gonna lie, we're probably gonna put about 20 of these in there and make sure that TV doesn't fall down.
I'm really glad we upgraded from this bad boy.
Get in there! Felt much better than what I thought it was gonna feel like.
Is it ready for the TV?
All right, boys, it's the moment of truth. We are gonna put the Bravia 8 TV up on the wall with drywall screws and say a quick prayer that that thing holds up. Don't even gotta do anything. I'm too thick.
I can't see.
I can't see anything. All right, up, push back, down. It's up, and it's not ripping out of the wall. So,
That's good.
Step one.
God.
This is literally the first OLED TV I have ever purchased. But coming in with a 4K resolution and 120 hertz native refresh rate, this TV is going to be killer for that one time a year I end up playing Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you guys standing there. I was just polishing my 5080s. But anyways, we got the TV up. The only issue is we did not put any drywall anchors into the wall, so I don't know how that TV is going to hold up. So we're gonna start our PC setup because I know at the end of the day, all of us are PC gamers. We don't bother with console. So let's focus on the real main setup.
Well, I mean, console's not that bad.
Oh, it is.
Now, enough yapping about the inferior setups. I know why you're truly here. You want to know about the main PC gaming setup, so let's give the people what they want. Starting off, we are using this premium Gutsy 8-in mouse pad swirl collection, I may add, with a little white and black aesthetic to bring our two colors in. Next, we got the peripherals, starting with our Lamborghini keyboard and Ponage lightweight gaming mouse for those bronze Valorant try-hard lobbies. You know what I'm talking about. But with a good-looking setup, you got to make sure you sound good too. So that's why we're pairing it with the Rode Creator Bundle into this setup with the Rodecaster audio interface and the Rode Podcast mic. All right, we got all our peripherals in. We got mouse, keyboard, mouse pad, microphone, and it is time for the main event. Our two main monitors and the PC. Let's go get them. Actually, Quinn, can you go get them? I'm a little tired. Thank you.
What?
For our main monitor, we aren't just going to be mounting it like an ordinary monitor. We're talking wall mount edition, or at least I thought this was going to be a good idea.
The issue here is I have never installed a wall monitor mount in my entire life. I'm trying to get it like in between the panels, that way I don't tear them up. Is what they recommend. This is what I'm gonna go with. I think we're fine. What? What just happened with our drywall screw with our monitor? I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't like deathly afraid of what's going to happen with that TV sooner or later.
I don't see any problems with that.
That's gonna be
I'm
good.
never installing a wall mount monitor again. Or if I do, I'm buying one that's more than $19.
This was $19?
So I'm just going to be chalking this one up as a loss and go with the standard ordinary Asus heavy desk mount for our secondary monitor. And we had to make sure it was the heavy duty version because on this mount, we are going to be going with LG's new 45-inch ultra-wide monitor, clocking in with a staggering 240 hertz refresh rate and 1440p resolution. Now, most people would sit back and say, hey, I use that as my main monitor. But for our main monitor, we had to make sure we went even more overboard because we bought the Sony InZone M10F.
Looks tiny when that thing's up there.
It is one of the fastest OLED 1440p gaming monitors that you can buy because it comes in a staggering 480 hertz refresh rate. Now, do I need that high of a refresh rate? No. But do I want that high of a refresh rate? You bet.
All right, we got the mothership, my prized possession. Built by yours truly over here, custom PC that we're throwing into here. Now, before you guys roast me, yes, I do have a black 4090 and an all white build. I couldn't find a white one.
You couldn't find a white one?
This bad boy is coming in with an i9 13900K processor, a 4090 graphics card, 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and of course 2 terabyte SSD. Essentially what I'm trying to tell you right now is this thing is going to handle anything you throw at it at any time.
You guys should be proud of me because this is the first time I'm ever going to try to cable manage.
But what a true gaming setup is lacking is RGB in order to increase that FPS. Am I right, boys?
I think I just spent over, I don't know, $1,500 to $2,000 on RGB for this gaming setup. Credit card debt, who?
But a huge thank you to my friends over at Nanoleaf because they hooked us up with RGB lines and RGB display cases.
Look at that. That's actually so cool. And so what I'm thinking is putting them up there on that top shelf and putting something in them. I just don't know what yet. So that's not bad at all. We got those lines left and we got these rope lights. And bro, look at the disaster in here.
I don't know why, but there's something satisfying about being able to have your own design with these lines. But from one professional to another, I would clean your wood panels before installing these things, or else they have a hard time sticking. I mean, not that I would know they haven't fallen multiple times. No, but once we got these installed, we still have the RGB strips that are going on each side of the tower shelving units, the RGB rope lights that are going to go in between the wood panels on our console gaming area, and lastly, our TV T3 backlight for those, you know, more immersive nights on the TV. Now, I'm not one for touching grass or plants like most setups, so why not decorate with, you know, more PC setup parts? Followed up with over $1,500 in gaming keyboards.
And since we have a bunch of extra PC parts, I mean, might as well display them, right?
We have over 128 gigabytes of RAM, 2 Intel Ultra 9 processors that we're going to be putting into these display cases because, I mean, why not, right? And a 9800 X3D processor. But with our PC setup completely finished, our console setup still needs a bit of work. So that's where we brought in an Xbox, Nintendo Switch, some custom controllers, and of course, these PSA 10 Pokemon cards for our finishing touches. With our total setup coming out to a whopping $21,135, and that's not even including the construction costs. But for the last 7 months, we have spent our time building this gaming room from the ground up. So it's finally time for the big reveal.
Now that we've got all the decorations finally on, and I finally did cable management for the very first time in my life, it's time to get everything turned on. Check out the RGB. Let's go. This is it, boys. This is it. I mean, after 10 days of building this setup, I have to say, I mean, even Quinn said it earlier in the video, I actually did some cable management because I sat here and I said, with the amount of time, money, sweat, blood, and tears that we put into this, we have to make it look nice. And I gotta say, I mean, probably best setup that we've maybe done on this channel, I gotta say. I mean, amount of RGB, cable management. I gotta say, I love it. Listen, I'm not even a big console gamer. Actually, just seeing the backlights on this, the RGB, I'm gonna come put a beanbag, really big beanbag over here and just chill, relax, play a little bit. Actually might get me into console gaming over PC. No, it won't. Let's be realistic. But I appreciate you guys sticking around the days, the weeks, the months, everything that took to build this setup. But guys, if you think this setup is crazy, we just built the world's largest gaming setup, where you can find it right here. Make sure to go check out that one, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.